Welcome to another installment of the United Way's Community Impact Series, Advancing the Common Good. My name is Katie Gallagher, and I'm the marketing specialist at the United Way of the Lewis and Clark area. Most times on the show, we feature one of our 31 partner agencies here in the local community. These are health and human service nonprofits that work to advance the common good every day in the areas of income, education, and health. Today, we actually have one of our community impact partners joining us with Montana Legal Services Association to talk about local free tax help here in Lewis and Clark County. So I want to start the segment today by talking about free tax help. Why is the United Way involved in free tax help? So the United Way supports free tax help efforts here in Helena because it's all about income stability and financial independence. It's one of the United Way's primary focus areas, and we know that free tax help helps local community members, families, and individuals build their income stability. For example, the Earned Income Tax Credit, it's a federal tax credit, is hailed as one of the most effective anti-poverty mechanisms in the United States. So the free tax help volunteers, they're IRS certified volunteers, help connect local community members to these tax credits if they are eligible. Groups in the community, part of the Lewis and Clark Free Tax Help Coalition, together are holding an event on January 31st at the Lewis and Clark Library. It is a free tax help day event where volunteers will be on hand to actually complete taxes for local community members if they are eligible. There are some general income guidelines, generally $53,000 or less. However, the primary guideline is that you have a basic tax return. Groups will be on hand at this event as well to help connect community members to other resources. Groups like Montana Legal Services Association, Rural Dynamics Bridge to Benefits program, which helps educate community members on food stamps programs, low-income energy assistance, and other resources, as well as Montana Credit Unions for Community Development and an Affordable Care Act Navigator. We brought in an Affordable Care Act Navigator this year because the Affordable Care Act impacts every single person in our community when they go to file their taxes. Montana Legal Service Association, with us today we have August Swanson. August, what do you do at Montana Legal Services Association?
I am the LITC project director.
So LITC, what is LITC?
Low Income Taxpayer Clinic. We assist taxpayers, low-income Montanans with issues related to tax. So they owe a tax, or they were supposed to get a refund and it never came, things of that nature.
Okay, and about how many people do you serve every year?
Statewide for LITC, we serve about 80 to 85.
Okay, and how do people access those services?
They can apply online at www.mtlsa.org.
Okay.
Or we also have a toll-free phone number.
Okay.
Which I believe is on the screen.
All right, so it's a 1-800 number and people can call in and receive information about the services you provide. So why is Montana Legal Services Association involved in helping low-income taxpayers? Is it part of your mission?
It is a part of LITC's mission.
Okay.
And Montana Legal Services is our umbrella organization.
Okay.
Montana Legal Services in general, we help low-income Montanans across the state deal with, we assist them with their legal issues. So
Okay.
we help provide them access to justice, and we assist in divorce, parenting plans, family law, bankruptcy, landlord-tenant, foreclosures, tax, public benefits, Indian law, the list goes on.
And you serve a statewide population, so you have offices across the state.
We have offices in Helena, Missoula, and Billings.
Okay. And so like you said, people access your services. What's a circumstance that people might access these services for the low-income taxpayer clinic?
A lot of times we'll have people that do not go to a VITA site to get their taxes done. They have a friend or a family member do it. They claim the Earned Income Tax Credit, but someone else has already claimed those kids, but they go ahead and get the refund. Okay. Nice $5,000 or $6,000 refund. And then the IRS comes back 3 months, 6 months, a year later and says, well, now you owe us $6,000 plus all this interest. And so we would get involved and assist the client. We have pro bono attorneys that work with us, as well as staff attorney, And we would try to either represent that client before the IRS or U.S. tax court, or we would advise them depending on what their situation was.
And is there a cost associated?
It is free.
Okay.
With Montana Legal Services, you have to be at or below 125% of the poverty level, But with LITC, you have to be at or below 250%.
Okay. And so this is a question you might not know off the top of your head, but is there a general income that falls at, or does it depend on the number of children?
It really depends on the number of children and people, you know, if you're married,
okay, and
how many people are in your household.
Okay, so would your advice be that if people have a situation like that, to call anyway, you know, and find out if they fall within the income guidelines?
Definitely.
Okay. So again, that number's on the screen, so that 1-800-666-6899, and you can find out if you qualify for these services. So tax season is generally in the late winter and spring here in Montana. I think filing starts January 20th this year and then concludes April 15th. So is this program available year-round? Like you said, the IRS might contact you 6 months down the road. Are you always available to provide these services?
We are always available. We're all year round. And even in the areas that we don't have offices, we can still try to do some service and assist you.
Okay.
And so we're, always open.
All right. And so Montana Legal Services Association is part of the Lewis and Clark Tax Help Coalition. So I know I didn't talk about that too much earlier, but the other organizations that are part of this coalition include the United Way, as well as Rule Dynamics, the IRS, Montana Department of Revenue. Who else is there? Oh, Montana Credit Unions for Community Development as well, among other groups. So this group provides free tax help throughout the tax season. So I think most sites start around February 7th this year, and they'll be running through the end of the season. Some of those are walk-in sites, and some of those are appointment-only sites. But to learn more about those sites, viewers out there can visit www.unitedwaylca.org or www.montanafreefile.org, and there's information about sites that will provide the free tax help services throughout the tax season. I find your clients benefit from free tax help services.
Definitely. We see a lot of clients that haven't done their taxes for years.
Okay.
And we end up, or possibly like an identity theft issue and they don't have a filing requirement, and now something's come up. So we definitely highly use VITA and try to use as much free tax prep as we can. Okay. Because many of our clients just can't afford to pay someone to do their back taxes.
To do their taxes. So you mentioned VITA. So VITA is the Volunteer Income Assistance Program. There's also two other programs that operate here as part of this coalition, and I forgot to mention it earlier, but AARP is actually a big partner in the Lewis and Clark County Free Tax Help Coalition. AARP provides services actually to people of any age. However, their site at the Helena Senior Center does focus on people 60 years and older. Along with that, there's a lot of tax credits out there, like the state of Montana elderly homeowner renter credit that these people 60 or older can potentially capitalize on to, again, put money back into their pockets and build their income stability. And then the other one is TCE, Tax Counseling for the Elderly, which again helps people put money back into their pockets that they deserve. So that's kind of an overview of the Lewis and Clark County Free Tax Help Coalition. So I think I'll tell viewers also a little bit about the different sites in the Helena community. Again, the information is all available at www.unitedwaylca.org. However, I'll just briefly run through the sites. I have my cheat sheet brochure here, but just so viewers can start to think about the places that they can get their taxes done if they're eligible here in the community. These are trusted community organizations and potentially places that you generally go every day, or not every day, but frequently throughout the community. So there is a site at the Helena Senior Center that's an appointment-only site, as well as the Lewis and Clark Library, the Trico Community Credit Union, Helena Community Credit Union, and we're very excited about a site this year in East Helena. It's at the East Helena Methodist Church. So that one is an appointment-only site, but hopefully that will service people of East Helena. There are also two walk-in sites available. Those are Good Samaritan Thrift Store and Helena College. Helena College has a great program where their accounting students actually become IRS certified to complete the taxes as part of the program, and so they are getting some real-world experience and completing the taxes at the same time. And for folks out there who want to do their taxes in their pajamas from the comfort of their home but not pay any money, if you make $60,000 or less annually, combined household income, there's a site called myfreetaxes.com. So people can do their taxes for free in their pajamas at their house if they feel comfortable and think that they can, get all those credits that they deserve at myfreetaxes.com. So that's a brief overview of the sites available in the community this year. Again, UnitedWayLCA.org has all the information about what you need to bring to your appointments. It has the phone numbers to contact. And if you want more information about the VITA program, the tax counseling for the elderly, what Montana Legal Services Association does, what AARP does, MontanaFreeFile.org is the one-stop shop for that information. Is there anything you want to add, August, before we close up today?
No, I think we pretty much covered it all.
We're good. So can we put your phone number back on the screen real fast there? And then if anybody has information, they can definitely contact Montana Legal Services Association to access legal advice, essentially, if they have
legal
issues.
Advice and information.
Legal advice and information. All right, if they have issues with their taxes this year or in previous years. So thank you for joining us, and we appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you.